My name is asterisk Javed asterisk asterisk, and I had been driving a Careem in Karachi for many years. During my journeys, I encountered all kinds of people. This was my source of livelihood at the time. In those days, I was also studying for my MBA. Because of my studies, I couldn't drive during the day, so I started driving the night shift. It was past midnight and the date had changed. On the 13th of October, I picked up a family from a wedding hall in Orangi town. They needed to go to PECHS. A middle-aged man sat on the front passenger seat. A woman, a girl, and a boy of about 13 or 14 sat in the back. The journey began. They were talking among themselves, and I gathered that their car had broken down. They had also attended a close relative's wedding, so coming was necessary, which is why they had taken a Careem that day. The woman seemed a little impatient to me. She was telling her daughter, "Why were you sitting with a sulky face the whole time at the gathering? You could have discussed this at home too." The three of them were talking, but the girl hadn't spoken a single word since the car started moving. We hadn't gone very far yet. We were still on that stretch which is a little deserted and dark, when suddenly the girl started screaming. She was using very foul language, not just foul words, but she was cursing loudly. I was startled. Her own family was also shocked. She was screaming so loudly that it was becoming difficult for me to drive. Her mother tried to hold her while crying, but the girl suddenly pushed her hard. The woman was sitting right behind my seat, so I also felt the push. I immediately applied the brakes. The car stopped on the side of the road. Whatever was happening, I couldn't continue with this family. As soon as I stopped, the girl leaned forward and grabbed her father's throat. I was caught in a strange situation. Her brother was trying to hold her hand, but I couldn't touch a girl like that. At that moment, I did the only thing that came to mind. I turned on the tape in my car, which had the recitation of Surah Rahman playing. I used to listen to it often. As soon as it started, her grip on her father's throat weakened. I turned and looked. Her condition was strange, eyes wide open, hair disheveled, foam coming from her mouth. She was twisting her arm. Now she was screaming in a language I couldn't understand. At that time it was around 1:30 a.m. We were standing on a deserted road. Stopping here wasn't safe, but how could I leave them here? I was confused. The man seemed to have gone semi-conscious. The girl had gripped his throat very tightly. I opened the door, thinking that fresh air might revive him. But as soon as I opened the door, the girl fell completely silent. Surah Rahman was echoing in the car. It felt as if someone had used a remote to turn off her voice. Now she was staring straight at me with intense eyes. Her gaze was so sharp that I froze. Then slowly she turned her head to the right, at an unnatural angle, and smiled. It was a smile as if someone was looking from inside her. I stepped back and closed the door. The mother was crying. The brother said, "Drive, quickly, take her to the hospital." I told them, "There is no hospital nearby. Let's head toward Tariq Road." I tried to start the car again, but it wouldn't start. The engine seemed jammed. I turned the key again and again, but only a clicking sound came. There was no fault in my car. Then suddenly, the girl laughed so loudly that my soul trembled. My heart sank. I told the woman and the boy to recite whatever prayers they remembered. I also started reciting softly. The man was also regaining consciousness somewhat. Then suddenly, the car started on its own. Without thinking, I sped up. For the first time in my life, I was driving so fast. The woman and the girl's brother were reciting Quranic verses in the back. The girl sat silently in between, as if nothing had happened. Then suddenly, the girl started humming a song, even though the recitation was still playing in the car. This was truly the most difficult journey of my life. The man himself told me to drop them at their location. Throughout this journey, even the man didn't seem normal to me. He kept turning back and signaling his wife with his eyes. I was also very scared. A thought came to my mind. If she could choke her own father, she could also grab my throat. As soon as this thought crossed my mind, the girl spoke from behind. I won't choke your throat. I like you. Keep driving. I have to settle accounts with these people." She was probably talking about her family. After that, my condition worsened. I started reciting Quranic verses. By Allah's grace, somehow we reached the destination. I quickly dropped them off. As she was getting out, the girl turned to me and said in a completely normal tone, "Thank you. We will meet again." I froze. There was a strange depth in her voice. I sped away. But a strange heaviness remained in my body. When I reached home and got out of the car, I fainted. When I regained consciousness, I was in the hospital. I stayed there for 2 days. Even after returning home, my health wasn't settled. I didn't tell my family the whole story. That girl had left such a fear in me that she started appearing in my dreams. I also became curious. What had actually happened with that family? I tried to retrieve the ride details from my phone from that day. I had even confirmed the location on the phone before picking them up. I searched for that number too, but I couldn't find it or any details because my phone had developed a problem. Many of my things had been deleted. I didn't even remember where I had dropped that family off. After this incident, I almost stopped driving altogether. Anyway, this was just a temporary livelihood. I joined a job. Even today, after so many years, I haven't been able to forget that incident. Story 2. The Haunted Hotel Room. My name is Yasmin and I belong to Mumbai, India. I have been following your channel, Fustantic, for about 6 months and have heard many interesting stories from you. Today, I want to share an incident that happened with my elder sister, Sania. In 2016, we planned a family road trip. In our family, I, my mother, my sister, my brother, and a driver would often go on road trips. Whenever we traveled from Mumbai to Ratlam or Indore, we would always stay at a hotel called Shanti Palace located on the border of Maharashtra and Madhya Pradesh. We would usually reach there around 9 or 10 p.m. The journey beyond that point wasn't safe because there was a deserted road with forests for about 50 kilometers, a mountain climb with forest on one side and a deep ravine on the other. At night, this road was also considered dangerous because of dacoits. Incidents would keep happening there. Some would come to light and others would never be known. Our driver once told us that his cousin, who is also a driver, was traveling on this same road at night with 3 boys. Their car broke down. They spent the night in immense difficulty. Strange sounds were coming from the forest. When he opened the bonnet to check the car, he heard a painful scream. Not just him, but the boys with him also heard it. They also got out of the car, but they couldn't figure out where the sound came from. Then the driver saw a man standing at some distance toward the forest. At first, he thought it was a person. Upon closer inspection, he realized it was a headless body facing them. As soon as he understood, he immediately put the boys in the car and got in himself, rolling up the windows. Then strange sounds started coming. It was cold, and in these areas the cold increased at night. Several times they felt as if someone had shaken the car. At dawn, they somehow managed to leave. His cousin had a fever for several days. Because of such incidents, we didn't travel further on that road at night. We would stay at the hotel. Once we reached this hotel at 10 p.m. We got a room on the first floor, which was at the very end corner. We had never come to this side before. As soon as we entered this section, my mother said, "It feels very heavy here." The lights were also dim because it was night and we were all tired. Despite not feeling comfortable with the atmosphere, we thought, it's just one night. We'll leave in the morning. This room was a suite. As soon as we entered, there was a large lounge, a spacious bathroom, and then a large bedroom with 5 single beds. We changed clothes, freshened up, and lay down to sleep with the night lamp on. The room was on the corner, so it had a balcony. A large window opened toward that balcony with curtains. This hotel had always seemed somewhat mysterious, but since we often stayed there, we didn't think much of it. The driver had separate arrangements, but my brother and the driver went to see the new wing of the hotel that had just been built. We fell asleep. Around 3 a.m., Sania woke up to use the bathroom. Everyone else was in a deep sleep. When she came out of the bathroom, suddenly someone called out to her from near the window. The windows were closed. Only one was slightly open because it was the winter season of January. She got scared because we hadn't opened the balcony. She assumed there might be another balcony on the other side with some mischievous boys, so she didn't think it was appropriate to look. But the voice kept coming. Then knocking started on the window. Her fear increased even more. She still thought perhaps the wind was shaking the window. But then suddenly, the voice stopped. Before going back to bed, she thought she should close that open window so it wouldn't make noise or sounds again. Thinking this, she stepped forward to close the window latch. Unintentionally, while closing the latch, she looked outside. She was stunned. Outside there was no other balcony, just forest and deserted, barren land. It wasn't just about the location. When her eyes fell ahead, she froze in fear. It was some laborer-like person floating in the air, staring intently at Sania. As soon as she saw him, Sania started reciting Ayatul Kursi loudly. That person immediately disappeared from sight. She quickly came back to bed and kept reciting Ayatul Kursi continuously. She didn't know when she fell asleep. At 8 a.m. when we woke up, Sania was quiet. We had breakfast and immediately left the hotel. On the way, she told my mother and siblings everything. After that, we never stayed at this hotel again. Our driver and brother told us that this place itself is haunted. At night, they had both gone to see the new wing of the hotel, which was built near the forest. They thought they would stay there in the future. But as soon as they entered, they felt as if a crowd was present there, even though no one was visible. They also felt someone touching their shoulders. Both ran out in fear and kept reciting prayers. After that, we stopped going on the road where the hotel's turn came.